Service BDC platform. Repairs. Welcome to DealTimer Service BDC Tele platform to schedule service appointments in-house. Service BDC. Soul searching questions. If 10% of Service BDC questions are answered with no, then continue to watch this video. Number 1. Out of 100 incoming service calls, do you know how many calls are routed to schedule an appointment? Calls were hung up by the customers. Calls were not answered by your BDC reps. Calls did not end up in appointments. Calls were routed to service advisors. Calls were forwarded to voicemails. Calls were followed up by BDC reps. Source searching questions continued. Out of 100 calls, do you know how many? Out of 100 incoming service calls, how many calls were answered immediately? Calls were answered within 30 seconds. Calls were answered in less than 60 seconds. Calls were ignored by BDC reps and kept ringing. Next, calls were sent directly to advisors. Calls originated from within dealership staff. Calls with multiple attempts from customers. Calls were initiated from dealership site. Like this. Many more timing-related issues. In this session, we will review how the hard-working BDC manager could solve operational issues. "20 Service BDC issues solved." Number 1 problem. All incoming calls accountability tracked. Number 1. The incoming calls turned into appointments successfully into DMS system. Great. Now let us look at the calls that did not materialize into appointments. Number 2. Calls not answered. Number 3. Calls hung up after waiting. Number 4. Calls went to voicemail, if available. Number 5. Finally, calls answered. However, no appointment is scheduled. Felt like having accountability of all incoming calls? Good news. Tele platform tracks and adds these calls to outbound call queue to schedule appointments. Number 1. Incoming call accountability. Want to check how you did during the last 3 months? Check total calls in call tracking vendor system. And then subtract total number of appointments scheduled, excluding walk-in appointments, equals to total lost service scheduling opportunities. Want to find lost opportunities? Number 1. In all call tracking systems, one has to listen to all calls to find out lost opportunities. Number 2. Even if one listens to all calls, there is no way to separate the calls and solve the issue. DealTimer Service BDC has embedded call tracker. Solving this problem. Service BDC. Number 2. Too many systems to log into. In order to manage BDC call center, manager has to log into following systems. Number 1. Replaces Service BDC, like Blueprint, Proactive BDC, etc. Number 2. Replaces call tracking vendor system to listen to recorded calls. Number 3. X time to schedule appointment. Number 4. Phone PBX system to find call transfers. Number 5. OEM pre-survey system for any scheduling warnings. Number 6. OEM CSI system. To check any scheduling CSI issues. Number 7. DMS system. Number 8. CRM system. If needed. It is the most painful task to pull the data from 5 to 6 systems to track BDC effectiveness. I wish I had a system that compiles the month-end report from 5 to 6 different systems. No worries. Deal Timer solved this issue in our BDC platform. Service BDC Tele platform integrates with and compiles BDC reports from all systems. Number 3. Disadvantages of call tracking systems. A. Call tracking systems can only record the conversation. Right. B. Call tracking system cannot look customer profile information in the database. C. Call tracking system cannot maintain call queues if BDC reps are busy. D. Call tracking systems cannot conference calls. E. Call tracking systems cannot schedule service appointments. F. Call tracking systems cannot manage your BDC reps' performance.